Here tonight. We thank you for coming. We have a shortage of people out there, and we have a shortage of people up here. I don't know where everybody's at tonight. Our group's not here. I know Larry Chasten is in a meeting that he couldn't get out of, so once in a while we get ourselves in that position. But if y'all would stand, please, we will open with the Lord of the word for our prayer. Our Father, as we come tonight, we come thanking, honoring, and praising your holy name. Thanking you as you watch over us, take care of us, and guide our lives, Lord. We ask that you continue to do that as long as we stay upon this earth. And Lord, might we honor you in death as well as in life. Now, Lord, be with this meeting. Let us do things that would be pleasing to you. Find out some things about our community we don't know. Lord, let us bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's have a pledge and flag while you're up, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meeting is probably going to be short because I don't have anything to bring to you other than the fact the state is speeding up their work, they say, toward getting the railroad track down here things, so they're working a little extra hard maybe to get that done quicker rather than 2028 or 9. But I understand they were doing some surveying up there around the corner and things like that, and I own a little piece of land there on the corner. I think they're going to get part of it. As long as their pocketbook's deep, I'll be happy.
As long as you get railroaded.
Yeah, there you go. Did you have a question?
No, sir, I was just going to say that I sent out that email, and I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the notification from Danny Britt, the Senator's office, about the accelerated timeline and stuff. I can go into it a little bit deeper, right?
If you would, yes. When we get kind of want to just go right ahead, we'd love to hear you.
Yes.
He's going to bring us something on the road that I didn't know about.
Is this 295 down Rockfish Road, or where?
No, ma'am, it's the Lindsay widening as well as the stoplights at Rockfish and Lindsay. So Danny Britt's office sent the Hope GOP an email several weeks back. He found out when the DOT came out here to Rockfish and said everything's pushed to the right till 29 or whenever they were going to do it. And actually, our new state senator, Danny Britt, is he's the chairman of the transportation committee up there at the state senate. So we called him and said, hey, there's an issue down here. This has been going on for 10 years.
Long time.
Residents are upset. He said, well, let me look into it. So they sent us an email a couple weeks ago. Basically, they're starting the survey now. 7 to 9 months for the survey project, and then they're going to start construction probably by the beginning of the new year. What the idea is they're going to do the 4-lane Lindsay Road all the way down to Rockfish, and then they're going to put in the stoplights at Rockfish and what's the other street over there? Pittman Grove. Pittman Grove. They're going to put stoplights there at both. It's supposed to be done within 18 months. Tentative timeline. But the state's saying that they think that by this time next year, it should be pretty well completed. All right?
Well, that's nice.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying this road out here, which is Lindsay,
yes,
is going to be 4 lanes?
4 lanes is what they're saying.
To the stop sign.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And now my understanding, the way the commissioners had briefed it before about a right-hand turn lane on the Rockfish, I think that's included in that. But then there's going to be stoplights there as well. So.
And we also heard that there's going to be 4 lanes from the railroad tracks all the way to Davis's Bridge.
Eventually.
I had heard that they were going to do 4 lanes also with the median in the middle. And I think they're fixing to, like you said, they're fixing to start surveying. So I think they're fixing to get started because they have approached me about renting land there by King Road.
Stage their equipment.
Yes. They needed a HUD building and a place for start putting their equipment. So it sounds like they're fixing to get started.
Very good.
Yeah, so that's good news. I don't know when, but they did approach us about renting some land, whether that's going to fall through.
So those 10 years of us pushing and grumbling and mumbling in this building right here, a lot of us is fixing to start paying off.
Somebody in Raleigh paid attention.
Yeah.
Any questions about that by any of you guys? You know as much as we know. Okay? Yes, then.
We talked a little bit about the Rockfish Park last meeting. Well, last year, we met with 3 of the commissioners at the park. They did make some improvement, but it's still not up to par. It's like I told the commissioner, he came down and met with a couple of us last week. Mr. Sutherland did. And he took pictures of everything that needed to be done, and right now the park is very ghetto. And so I did text him and told him yesterday that he had a week to get back with me, not a year, but a week. He made a couple of phone calls when he was down here. He made them to whoever the grant person is in Rayford of Hope County to see about getting grants with monies to pay this. But if you get a chance, go by and look at the park. I mean, it is so scroungy looking. If we're gonna have a park, then we should have it up to par. And the big sliding board, we checked that, and it's got several rips in it, which would hurt a child coming down that slide. But I told Mr. Sutherland to go by McLaughlin Park in Rayford and look at everything that they have there that we should be comparable to them. That this is in Hope County, and McLaughlin Park is in Hope County, even though it is funded probably by the town. But that doesn't make any difference. So if he has not gotten in touch with me next week, I'll be calling him. I will. But what started this is my grandchildren. I have one 7 and one 4. And we would go to the park, and it's just, things are a little bit dangerous down there. So my 2 grandchildren met with the commissioners last year, and they met with them again last week. So, what better way than to do it through the children? So, just to let you know that we're working on it. Yes, sir?
That's a county-wide problem. You know, we've got construction going on everywhere in the county, lots of construction. And there's no plans that I've seen to expand the park system. You know, places for these new residents to go and take their children and play. It seems to me it's an awful problem.
Well, you're correct in saying that. It's a county problem. We all pay county taxes, and the Robbins Heights, I think it was Robbins Heights, they were granted $684,000 a few weeks back to improve their park. Now that was in the newspaper. So we know that there's grants out there, and as far as I know, Mr. Sutherland is going to help us with the grants. But like I said, there's several places out there that maybe could hurt a child. And I'm not talking about just our grandchildren, but your grandchildren, your children. And so it's for the children. And we're not going to let it be a year this time. Okay?
Okay. If they get that money, they need to go to work, spend it before they use it on the pool. I didn't say that, not down here in Rockfish, okay? Do we have any special guests tonight? Everybody's special, but is there anyone here who would like to speak? Tell us anything that we need to know. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Ruben Castellon, and some of you already know who I am. I'm running for school board.
All right.
You're what, sir?
I'm Ruben Castellon, and I'm running for school board of education.
Okay.
And I just want to give you a quick brief. You know, we just got another $10 million, and I am, one of my things that I'm fighting for is for a new high school.
Yes.
We've been trying.
Of course, there's a few things that trigger a high school. We need another middle school. And what triggers a middle school is another elementary school. So I think we're gonna get there because if you drive in every major road in Polk County, there are tons of houses being built. And I don't know if you notice, if you're familiar with the Westgate area at Adcox Road,
Yes.
there's gonna be 600 houses. That's a minimum 600 children, or 1,200 children. I'm kinda curious where they're gonna put them at, what elementary school. They're gonna be dispersed. So I think it's a good time for all of us to unite. I think that together we can make change. Lastly, I stand for students first and parents always, obviously, because parents have been just sidelined. And so I'm here asking for your support. The one thing that I cannot guarantee is that Rockfish is going to get a high school. Okay, but my goal is to, if I become a new board member, is to fight for a new high school. And we can do it, but I need your help. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, sir.
One input that you might give to them is that we already have two nice middle schools
Yes.
up there if they build a high school somewhere.
That's right.
You don't have to build two more middle schools, you got them right there at the high school right now.
So, but the biggest thing is that we have to get together. I need your help. We need your help. We need change. I've been a long time resident of Polk County. My kids were born here. And we need to unite and effect change. If not, we're not going to be able to do it. We're just going to continue the same way that we're doing things.
You're
Okay?
exactly right, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Right now, we're having 150 more houses built on Rockfish Road. That's 5 miles from here. Some of them on Coots Road. The elementary school that we have now, we brought double wide trailers in here to put the children in, and now they're busting out the seam because there's not going to be anywhere for these children. They're not. So keep in mind, we got 150 more coming right down the road.
Lot going on. Lot needs to happen. A lot of input needs to come from the people in Rockfish. Yes, sir.
Just a question, you know, my name's Dave Crump, and I'm sure most of you know I'm running for county commissioner and have been. I've come out here a couple times and asked about the progress of removing that old house down there, the store, and just wonder where you are on that. I've been pushing.
Commissioners took that over.
They're still working on that. It has been, we have been fighting for it in the hands of this board and some of the board in Mayford. They've tied us with it. We can't do anything more than what we're trying to do. My brother Larry Chasen has been before the board. He's been to Raleigh. So everything that can possibly be done has been done. Now, there is a couple things that we can't talk about, but it revolves around the building.
It keeps falling aboard at the time. I look at it today, it certainly doesn't fail since the last meeting.
The reason I ask that, there's a common problem throughout Polk County, removal of buildings that are a blight to the community. And in case you're unaware of it, there's a really wonderful Facebook page it's called Polk Blight. And it pictures all of the buildings around the county that need to be torn down. And I have also approached the county about removing some of these old buildings. They're all over. It affects everyone. It's not just y'all here in this community. But I've approached planning and I've approached the commissioners, and they tell me, well, there's nothing that can, they don't have any authority to make people do that. And they do. They do. They just won't exercise it.
Every one of those that you've mentioned has been approached by this
Yes.
And it's been before very high influential people, and that's where we are right now. That building belongs to a particular family, but it may be taken away from the family.
I'm just talking about in general,
Yes.
the blight in the community. And, you know, we ask businesses to move to our community, and it doesn't happen. You know, what do? Say, build your building here and look at your neighbor, you know, are you kidding me? You know, that's a failed business.
And it is.
And I think it's a real drawback to this community of having businesses move in. And, you know, many other communities, counties,
Same situation.
well, they're in the same situation, but they also take action on it. If you look over, for example, over in Ward County, they go after them and they fix them. You know, they get the people that are responsible for those buildings. And there's just doesn't seem to be enough will to do that here.
We even went several years ago to try to get the building and tried to see about grants that we could get to maybe restore the building as a historical aspect to our community, maybe put a coffee shop or something like that in there, but that was also blocked. So I understand.
Any other comment along that line? DOT, you kind of got an update on that just a couple of minutes ago. The sheriff department tells us that vandalism continues to increase. And I guess as we grow, that will always be the case. A lot of things just don't go away. You just deal with them as it comes down to you. Are there any new business that needs to be brought from the people or the board or anybody out here that has anything? Y'all speak up. Yes, ma'am.
I think this is part of the old business from the previous meeting. It was mentioned about incorporating as a town, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, has anything developed on that at this point, or is that just something, like we're kind of wishing it were so, or is that?
We're hoping it's gonna happen and we're not letting it go away, but it's not gonna happen tomorrow, I'll put it that way.
Absolutely, and so does the board or other powers to be have a plan as far as, are there going to be, you know, paid individuals like a town mayor or executive board members receiving a salary and that sort of thing?
There will be in time to come once we become a city. What Raleigh told us to do, y'all probably wasn't here, but we had to appoint a board as if the city was already in operation. We had to have a mayor, we had to have a bookkeeper, we had to have so many on the board and this type of thing. Well, we put all that together as if we were operating as a city, but we're not a city. We're just sitting there. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, I became the mayor. Larry, who sits beside me here, runs another picture. And different ones on here are on the board. Our hope is that we're going to become a city one of these days. And there's a lot of people that hope that we're not. So we're still working on it. We haven't given up.
What are the pros and cons that have been voiced throughout the community? Because this is only our second meeting.
You just want us to let it stay like it is or like it was.
Okay.
It's already left what it was
Sure.
10, 15 years ago. Now we're looking at what it is going to be down the road, whether we like it or not. It's going to happen, so we've got to deal with it.
Not trying to be evasive or anything like that, but Larry Chasen, of course, ET has been involved in everything, in every walkway. I don't know all the things that Larry knows. You know, and he's not here, but he could probably answer some of your questions as well as ET. But it has not been put on the back burner. I do know that. There's been multiple trips to Raleigh, to the proper people. There has been appointed an
meeting, he'll have that, but, he did pass those out at the time with a petition also was signed. You may still have that also when you sign in your report. Yeah.
Some of these pictures and things on the board over here, you take time and kind of read a little bit about them and look at them, you can kind of tell where we were and where we're at today and where we hope to be at.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I guess that takes care of the new business. And like I say, we're having a short meeting tonight because Larry's not here with stuff that we need to come up with, and unless you guys have something to come up with, we're gonna leave here shortly. The girl who fixes the cookies and the coffee and all, she's not here. She got sick all of a sudden. This has not been a good night for me, but it'll all work out in time to come. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to make a comment real quick, not as a board member, but as a citizen of this county, in this district. The new sheriff has decided to turn off comments on the Hope County Sheriff page, and I have personally been banned and blocked from commenting or even viewing his campaign page on social media. I see that as an affront to free speech. Not everybody agrees. I just want to put that out there for the public to know. So, if you've been blocked from viewing the new sheriff's social media, you're not the only one. I don't know if anything can be done about it. Just let everybody know what happened.
And also the Rockfish newsletter. How's that going?
So we just got off the ground doing that. We've got about 19 subscribers at the moment, more than expected, so that's going very well. What we're doing at the moment is basically just everything that's happening on Facebook, we mirror that and send it out over email. Still in the infancy, so we're getting there. Still kind of getting our feet wet with that, figuring out our way forward. But so far, it's going very well.
All right, how do you sign up for that?
You just have to send me an email. I can send you a link right after the meeting.
Okay.
Can we just invite all of our neighbors, for example?
Sure, if you have that original link to give me the subscription, I believe I got yours. So if you still have that link, you just send it out to those guys, and they just have to fill that form out.
Yeah, because our neighbors probably don't even know about these meetings.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And you all live where? You said you had to live
12 Oaks.
12 of them, okay.
And don't forget our license plates if you're proud to be in Rockfish. They got plenty of the Rockfish plates, $10. They're $10, so if you'd like to get one, just contact us. Glad to sell you one.
And I would like to say that, it's July. And that we will be coming into voting season again. And you will be surprised at the people that come into vote, that they actually have to study. They don't even know who they're voting for.
Did you say we would be surprised?
Well, that's just a
I'm one of
figure of
those.
speaking.
I've been here now since 1993 in this area. No, that's everywhere here.
Well, that's good. But that is just a figure of speaking. I guess it's a southern thing. You'd just be surprised. But nevertheless, people actually come in, they don't know who they're voting for. And, you know, that's it.
And we did have two meet and greet meetings here, very interesting. I mean, I had 2 pages wrote down of those that were running, because I'm one of those that did not know who to vote for, but it was very interesting. I don't know if we got another one coming up or not, but that was
We'll have
was
another one
very
before November.
interesting.
I believe we do have one more, and I would dearly hope our sheriff would be here so I could ask him personally why he has
Yes.
banned me from this Facebook page.
Yes, absolutely.
And when we find out when that is, we put a sign out, because I really learned a lot that was running, and so that's very interesting. If you could, get that word out. I'm one of those that learned a lot.
A lot of work went into getting this traffic light here out here, getting this set up for down here, the one down at Davis's Bridge. I've been in Rockfish approximately most of my life, of 84 years. And I never dreamed I'd ever see a stoplight around here. And to start with, I never thought I would see paved roads where I could skate without doing it on hard dirt. But we finally got that to here. But things move along.
Progress.
Right. Progress moving along.
And even a Shell station.
Yeah, we got a Shell station.
$1.
I hesitate, if I may, I hesitate to speak again because I don't want to feel like I'm dominating, I don't want you to think I'm dominating this, but talking about the Department of Defense, Department of Transportation rather, we have a real opportunity to increase the transportation scene or improve the transportation scene here in Hope County. And it's coming up in November. We've got the head, and Chris made a comment about Danny Britt, Senator Danny Britt. He's in charge of the Department of Transportation, the Senate version of the Senate oversight of the Department of Transportation. And he is going to be if elected in November, he is going to be representing Hope County. And we've taken him all around Hope County and shown him in areas that are really in need of attention from the Department of Transportation. And he knows now, and if we get him elected again, he currently represents several other counties, but because of redistricting, he's going to pick up Hope. If we can get him elected, he's going to pay some really close attention to Hope County. So I just say, in your thought process of voting for people, that's a guy to really consider.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I'd just like to tell you that real quick about roads and conditions in the county. So, the county about 7 years ago adopted an ordinance for subdivision development that all the roads had to meet North Carolina DOT standards. Because all around the county there's what they call orphan roads. These roads that are abandoned, that DOT, they're not DOT standards when they're built, so DOT doesn't take them over, and then we have these subdivisions with these pothole roads, and the residents don't know who to turn to. So that's some of the things that we're talking about, the Transportation Committee, because there are funds out there to bring those roads up to standard, and then they're taken over by the DOT. So that's some of the projects we're working on. But I would like to just let you know that if you go down Rockfish Road, right before you get to Business 401, there's a brand new subdivision. It's a single road, but it's a gravel road. So even though there's ordinances in place, they're obviously not being adhered to, and the conditions are being set for 5 years from now. Those people on that road, I pulled over to talk to some of those residents, and because one of them was a real estate agent, she knew the deal. She's like, yeah, we know that these are private roads and we're going to have to maintain them. But her neighbor didn't. So that's not one of those things. That there are ordinances in place. We just see that with all this new development, a lot of ordinances are being neglected or exemptions. The developers giving exemptions. So it's just one of those things that they're just creating problems. Down the road, we're just going to be further and further, in debt. It's going to take more taxpayer money to bring this stuff up to code for the quality of life. And just that's some of the stuff that we're working on, we're aware of, and we're trying to get fixed here for the betterment of the whole community.
I got a question since you brought up that road. How did they get by with that?
They gave an exemption to the developer.
It's not all the time. They do it all the time. They're supposed to put sidewalks in all those places, and they give exemptions on that.
So what happened is the developer will go to the zoning board and say, here's my proposal, and this is what I ask to be exempted from: sidewalks, sewer drains, public roads, whatever. And then the zoning board makes a recommendation to the board of commissioners, and they approve it. And so it's ultimately the county commissioners. They're the ones who enacted the ordinance. They're the ones that are supposed to be making sure that it's adhered to. But then again, they're the ones that are responsible for the exemptions. So
That's interesting. Thank you. what I can get by when I get ready to build another place.
It's only for the betterment of the community, you know?
I understand, yes, sir.
There's
Well, I remember when a group got together and laid out, drew out all those plans for the roads, sidewalks, everything in there and all that. Now they get by with, had to have road curbs. I don't know if they're getting by with not putting some of them in yet or not. No ditches, no open ditches, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. We end up with stuff like, what is that, North Woods up there by Walmart? You know,
Flooded all the time.
flooded all the time, and the residents, you know, I was talking to a lady there the other day, and there is a drainage, you know, for that community, but it's not maintained, because it's homeowner association, so the community doesn't have homeowner association, and it's up to the private residents, and nobody knew about it, so here we are 15 years later, it's overgrown, and mud caved in, and they get flooded all the time, and the county commissioner's like, well, sorry, it's y'all's property, deal with it.
Any other comments that might be of interest to us tonight from anybody? This will talk about it tonight. We'll make it work.
Has anybody heard about any roundabouts coming in the area? I have heard talk about it, but I don't know if it's true or not.
I heard rumors of one on 401 there at Glen Pond Road in front of the Walmart, up around about there, as well as down in front of the hospital. Like I said, that's rumors. If you go to the DOT website, they have all the plans, the long-term plans and stuff. I haven't seen anything about roundabout being proposed, but I know that some in the community are asking for them. And I don't know, I'm not a fan of them. I'm American, not European. I really go in a straight line and stop and stop like.
Do you have a question, sir? Okay.
Anyone else? If not, again, I say we thank you for coming. Next time, we hopefully have a lot more people and the whole board will be here and we make everything come a little better in order and maybe we'll have some information that will be as interesting. So thank you for coming. Have a good week.
Thank you.